Hey everyone, welcome back to Just a Watch. This is Dave, and today we're going to be taking a look at some new watch straps from Ritche. And Ritche is a brand that I've featured a number of times on the channel. They've sent me out a bunch of straps. These straps that we're going to be looking at today were also sent out for free by Ritche, so big thanks to them for doing that. And today we're going to be looking at their new crocodile embossed watch straps. And now the last time I featured Ritche watch straps on the channel, I think I said that they were, in my opinion, the best value watch straps out there. Every time I've reviewed straps from Ritche, I've really been blown away at the kind of price per quality ratio. They tend to keep their straps under $20, and they offer really good value, really good product in that price range. And these straps are no different. These ones, again, these are crocodile or alligator kind of grain embossed watch straps. And I was actually kind of surprised at how much I like them because typically I don't like crocodile embossed watch straps. I don't really like the fakeness of it. You know, I prefer to have, if it's going to be a leather strap, I'd rather it just be a simple, plain, smooth leather strap rather than trying to kind of put this fake crocodile finish. But these watch straps from Ritche are actually really cool. So these, they have a lot going for them. They're a top grain leather strap, which is really surprising. And yeah, they don't have that kind of fake plasticky feel to them. It feels like a really nice leather, even though it has been embossed. So what I wanted to do today is first we're going to review the straps. We'll talk about what the benefits and drawbacks of them are. And then I want to talk about kind of 4 reasons why you might consider buying an alligator or crocodile embossed watch strap for your watch, and talk through the reasons why people would want this and some of the options that you have. And I've got 5 different watches here that we're going to be going over and trying them out on. I have the Spinnaker Fleuss, the Bulova Lunar Pilot, my Guanqin Chinese Special, my Orient Polaris, and then finally this new Orient that I picked up that I'll show you in a minute that I think is really cool as well. Okay, so getting a little closer look at the straps here, the very first thing, I think the most biggest selling point of these straps is that they are top grain leather straps, which is great. That's really unheard of to see top grain leather in a strap under $20. I think these ones come in right around $17. Which is really just a phenomenal value. If you guys know about the different kind of levels or tiers of leather, most commonly what you're going to see is full grain, top grain, or genuine. So basically full grain leather is considered the best. It's where, you know, the top part of the leather, the part of the skin of the cow that faced out, you know, where the, you know, that was touching the air, where the hair and everything was attached to. That part of the leather is the toughest, most durable, and the most desirable part of the leather. That's the part that's going to get the best patina and look the nicest, and so that's usually considered the most desirable. Slightly under that is top grain leather, which is what this is. And with top grain leather, all they do is they take that full grain leather and they kind of sand down just the very top layer of it to give it a nice, even, smooth surface, because the problem with full grain leather is it often has a lot of imperfections that people a lot of times find desirable, but if you want to do a different finish or to emboss it like this, you have to get a smooth surface to work with. And so that's what they do with top grain leather, and that's what we have here. And this is, I think, really the best way to do a kind of an embossed crocodile strap, is to do it with top grain leather like this. Genuine leather, they'll take, you know, basically the leftover scraps that are underneath that top layer of the leather. They'll split it off, and then they'll just completely put a fake finish on top of that. And you know, without having that top layer of the leather, it's a lot less durable. It doesn't age as well, and you get a lot of problems with it. And that's the cheapest kind of leather that you'll typically see. So the result of all this is that when you use a top grain leather strap like this, and you have a strap like this, first of all, the finish has a very natural feel to it. It feels like leather on the top, even though it has been embossed with this crocodile pattern on it. It has more of a matte finish. It's not this really shiny, plasticky, stiff finish that you see on a lot of crocodile straps. It's got a really nice, smooth, natural feel to it, which is great. These are also padded, and they're fairly thick, so they're very comfortable as well. The leather lining underneath is a very smooth, comfortable lining. I think a lot of times on you know, genuine leather crocodile embossed straps, again, everything feels very plasticky, and you tend to sweat more with them. Again, this is a very smooth, very natural feeling leather. It just feels great. It's very flexible. It breaks in pretty quickly, and yeah, it's just a really good feeling leather strap. I'm really impressed with it. And you get the crocodile pattern that is often very appealing for a lot of situations. Another big benefit of these straps is that they have quick release spring bars on them, which is great. It makes swapping the straps in and out very easily. The hardware is also really nice. It's nothing special, but it's solid, decent hardware. Really gets the job done, and I think they did a good job with that. So these are really the first kind of crocodile embossed straps I've got my hands on that I really wouldn't mind wearing them on my watches. They're the kind of things where I think that I would definitely keep them on some of my watches and use them and wouldn't have any hesitation to do it. So overall, I've been really impressed with them. Again, especially for the price. To be able to pick these up for $17, I think is just a really great deal. Now, let's go ahead and talk then about, what are some of the reasons why you would want a crocodile embossed leather strap? What kind of place does that have in your collection? What does that do to your watches? What are some of the reasons you would want to do it? And we're going to talk about 4 different kind of scenarios in which purchasing a crocodile embossed strap for your watch might be a good idea. All right, so the first reason you might want to do it is if you buy a dress watch, oftentimes it's going to come on a metal bracelet like this Orient watch that I got here. Now this is a watch that I picked up in Japanese Amazon. I believe it's an older model Orient, but it's got this really amazing, really amazing solid link metal bracelet on it, and it also has a really great milled clasp, which is really unusual for a lot of the lower priced Orient watches. I picked this one up, I think I got it on sale for like around $100, which is just crazy because it also has a sapphire crystal. Now this one does have the older Orient movement in it, doesn't have hacking or hand winding, but the dial is just really stunning. And again, the bracelet was one of the big selling points for me. But oftentimes, when you buy a dress watch, it's going to come on a bracelet. And I think that's the best way to do it. If you can get it on the bracelet, it's easier to go from a watch with a bracelet to a leather strap than to buy a watch with a leather strap and to try and find a bracelet that will fit it. But if you get a dress watch like this, there are going to be times when you want to put it on a leather strap because a bracelet's more of a sporty look. It's not as formal. It doesn't go as well with like a suit or a tuxedo or something like that. And just times when you want a dress watch to look as dressy as possible, a leather strap is where you want to go. And a crocodile embossed strap is one of the best formal straps there is. Again, you see it on so many different watches as a stock strap, especially dress watches, and it's just a really timeless style. And so that's, I think, one reason why you would want to pick up a crocodile embossed strap is if you have a sports watch or if you have a dress watch that came on a steel bracelet and you want to bring out its maximum dressiness or formality, you can put it on there. All right, and here you go. And yeah, I think it gives it a really different look, really transforms the look of the watch. You get a really stark contrast between the white dial and the black strap now. Really does bring out a lot of the formality in this watch, and I think this would make this one of the dressiest looking watches in my collection. And yeah, I think this is just a really great looking strap to have on it, and to have that option to be able to go between the metal bracelet and a strap like this. I think that really, again, kind of brings out the maximum potential of this watch. All right, now the second reason is probably the most obvious, and that's simply that if you bought a watch that you really liked and it came on a crocodile embossed strap, but that strap eventually wears out and you need to replace it, this is a great option for doing that. And I think in a lot of cases it's actually going to be an upgrade. Again, I think these straps are better than most of the crocodile straps that I've seen that come stock on watches, even from Seiko or Orient, like this one here. So here I have this Orient Polaris that I actually purchased used, and so when I purchased it, the strap was already worn out. There was a lot of like sweat stains underneath, and the finish on the top was really cracking and kind of seeing through, and it wasn't the most comfortable or high quality strap in the first place. Again, it had that kind of glossy plasticky sheen to it. It was kind of thin and stiff and just not really a great strap. And so yeah, so the second reason is, again, probably the most obvious, is simply to swap it out and replace a strap that's worn out, and at the same time possibly upgrade it. So let's go ahead and swap the strap over and see how it looks. It's not going to look as different because this is almost going to be a one-to-one swap, going from one black crocodile strap to another. Okay, now I don't know if you can see this on camera, but this is actually a really big upgrade, I think. I mean, obviously going from the strap that was really worn out before, this one just looks so much better now. It really brings the life back to this watch. And if you have a watch that's kind of worn out and looking a little bit, showing its age, Replacing the strap is, I think, a great way to, again, bring back some of the original luster. And in this case, I think it's actually a pretty big upgrade over the stock strap. It has a much better finish. I really like the more matte look to it. And doesn't have that plasticky feel. It's a much thicker strap, a much more comfortable strap, a much more flexible strap. Everything about it is better. I think it really does upgrade the watch. And yeah, I really like having this option to kind of keep the original look of the watch, but actually put a better strap on it. So reason number 3 why you might want to swap out, or why you might want to get a crocodile leather strap, is if you bought a watch that came with a really cheap, bad strap, which happens more often than you might think, especially if you're looking at budget watches, and particularly if you're looking at like a Chinese watch like this Guanqin. I really love this watch. This is one of my favorite Chinese watches, but the strap really is terrible. It says genuine leather on it. I'm not even sure that it's telling the truth. It feels like plastic. It's very thin. It's a little bit stiff. It has this real kind of weird sheen to it. It's not very comfortable. I get kind of sweaty when I wear it because it doesn't breathe. So maybe there's some leather underneath all that, but it's, if there is, it's hard to tell. And so, yeah, so swapping out the strap on a watch like this is, I think, something you usually want to do pretty quick. Let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, check that out. So this is a different shade of brown that we're going to, but I really like it. It kind of, I think the light brown is a little bit less formal than the dark brown, but I think it still looks really great on this watch. And again, just the leather and the quality of the strap is like 10 times better than it was before. I mean, again, going from something that's, I'm not even sure it was genuine leather before, to going to a top grain leather strap like this. It's just got a great finish, a great feel. Overall, yeah, really elevates the watch. And so you're taking, this was originally like a $50 watch, and it's starting to feel more and more like a much more high-end, much more expensive watch. It already had a lot of great specs and design in the case itself, but putting it on a top grain strap like this really, I think, elevates it. Okay, so let's move on to our 4th reason, and this is maybe kind of the more fun, and that's if you have like a sports watch that you want to dress up and give it this kind of more elegant look. Now, this is something I think is a little bit controversial. A lot of people don't like putting dressy leather straps on sports watches, but it can be a really fun, cool look. And, I think it's something that, it's nice to have that option to play around with. We're going to look at 2 different sports watches. I've got this Bulova Lunar Pilot, and then the Spinnaker Fleuss. So we got like a sporty chronograph and then a dive watch, and we'll see what they look like on some crocodile leather straps. So the Lunar Pilot comes with 2 straps. One of the straps it comes with is this sort of nylon NASA style strap, because this is a replica of a watch that was actually worn on the moon, and so it's kind of showing that NASA heritage with, when you've got it on that nylon strap, it has more of a tool watch look to it. Let's go ahead and do that now. And that is just a completely different look. It almost looks like a totally different watch, but I think it really works. I kind of feel like this sort of lighter colored, light brown alligator strap has sort of a vintage, maybe 70s feel to it. Maybe that pattern was used more often then, and I think it really matches the style of this watch, because again, this is sort of a replica of a watch, a prototype that Bulova made back in, I think, like the 60s or 70s, that was used on one of the NASA moon missions. So putting it on this sort of light brown crocodile strap, I think really plays into the time period that this watch represents, and it gives it kind of this really kind of 70s cool feel to it, and I think it really looks great. And again, really transforms the look. It looks totally different than the watch looks like on either of the stock straps that it came with. So it's a really fun option to have there. All right, finally, let's go ahead and check it out on the Fleuss and see what you can do to a dive watch when you put a crocodile leather strap on it. And I've seen this done with like some Rolexes and things like that. People do it with their luxury watches. The Spinnaker Fleuss here is a homage to the Blancpain 50 Fathoms, which I think a lot of people would be considered like a luxury watch today, and I see that on some dressier straps. So I think the look will work with this. Let's go ahead and swap it over and see what happens. Yeah, so now I think that actually matches really well. I really like the way the black strap matches with the black bezel and dial. And I think that the crocodile pattern actually works on this. I think it's a very nice looking look for that. It does definitely add some formality and some dressiness. It kind of yeah, stylizes the watch a little bit so it doesn't look as rugged, as you know, looks a little bit more elegant now, and feels kind of good on the wrist. I don't know if I would use this as a dress watch, but I think it definitely does give the watch a different character and a different personality. And that's, I think, one of the most fun things about buying different straps is you can take a watch that you have and really give it some new personality. You can give it some different situations where you might wear it. And, you know, maybe on like a rubber strap, this watch would not be good in the office, but maybe you can put on here and get away with it. And just, yeah, you can kind of get this sort of, you know, maybe like a smart casual look with it, where you've got the toolishness of a dive watch, but then the dressiness of an embossed, of like a crocodile style leather strap. So I think that's kind of a cool look to have in it. So that'll wrap it up. That's the 4 reasons why I would purchase an alligator strap, and the 4 ways that I would use it on some of the watches in my collection. Hopefully that gives you guys some ideas for what you might be able to do on a strap with a strap like this. And if you are in the market for an alligator leather strap, I would definitely recommend checking out these Ritche ones. I'll put links to them down below. You guys can check it out. Also put links to all of these watches if you're interested in purchasing any of those. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. If you know, let me know which one was your favorite strap on the watch, which look you like the best. And we'll wrap it up and talk to you guys next time. Thanks a lot. Bye.